Good morning, Arsenal fans, and it is time to talk about Arsenal. It is the last day of the transfer window, and you would have to think that we would be getting many more signings coming in. Now, I'm going to be doing a video later on this evening talking about that, but this video right here is to talk about Arsenal's next game, which is tomorrow against Wolves. Now, the game against Manchester United was, to be honest, a bit of a dead rubber. Didn't quite watch it live, but watched it, had it recorded, and then I watched it about an hour after it started. I do have to say that it ended up being exactly the type of game that I thought it would be. It ended up being a draw. I did think both sides would score. I thought it would have been a 1-1 draw, but you have to say that, to be honest, a draw was a fair result when you look at it. Arsenal had a couple of chances whereby it didn't even work. The goalkeeper didn't get it on target. I think Pepe had a couple that didn't get on target. Willian had one that didn't get on target that was blocked by one of the Manchester United defenders. I believe it was Maguire. But you had a situation whereby you had some injuries. Aubameyang was still out. Tierney was still out. Saka developed an injury. So you only had really Smith Rowe, and then you had to deal with what I like to call the dross in Pepe and Willian. Again, putting in the same type of performances that they have put in really all season. It's either been an okay performance whereby at times they run, but when it comes to actually producing, which is why we have these players, it was just a bit flat. I know Lacazette had a couple as well, but to be really honest, it's exactly what we thought it would be. When you look at the game on both sides, you have to say that it was pretty much a fair result. Now you have to suspect that now you got Wolves there on Tuesday, tomorrow, and you got to say hopefully we've got players coming back. The likes of Saka and Tierney. Maybe it might be a little bit too early for Saka. My understanding is that Saka's got a muscle injury, and that just comes through constant amount of playing games. Tierney, similar thing there as well, so maybe they might be managing him. But you know what, I do have to say that Cedric hasn't been bad at all at left back overall. He's been pretty decent, so I think that, you know, he's a pretty good shout out in for that left back position in the game against Wolves. But then you got Aubameyang, who isn't injured, but you know, he's going through some family issues right now, and there was some talks of some family issues, and now we know that it's his mother who is ill. I don't know details about if she's got COVID, so I'm not going to speculate, but you could pretty much guess that he's probably going to be spending time with her for a while now, which means that the team against Wolves, or team that played against Manchester United, will be the same team that play against Wolves for the most part. We saw Martin Odegaard get his debut, but only really came on for about 10 minutes in the game. You got Ceballos that is still out as well. Thomas Partey is still trying to get up to play a full 90 minutes, so you could see that he's probably going to be played pretty much sparingly. But now it's just really about kind of grinding out these results until we can fully get our full strength 11 back up into playing for us week in, week out. And it's a bit of a shame, but you probably could have suspect that this was going to happen. And you got to say that against Wolves, Wolves have always been a tough side for us. We have struggled against Wolves. We've struggled to deal with Traore and his just athleticism. He's just an absolute animal there on the right hand side. Just a lot of time he just ends up roasting Tierney, and you just have to hope that Cedric Suarez ends up having a better game in that position. So I do think that it'll be Cedric on the right, David Luiz holding at centre back like we saw against Manchester United, with Bellerin at right back, and obviously Leno in goal. I do feel that it would be start with Thomas Partey, probably play about an hour in the game, then with Granit Xhaka next to him, and then I think it's just going to be standard Willian either on the right or the left, and Pepe on the right or the left, but I'd perfectly like to see Pepe on the left. He looks far more effective there, and to be really honest, even though I question Pepe every single time, to be able to get the best out of this player, you have to play him on the left. You know, that for me, that's where he looks the most effective. For me, he only has two choices on that left-hand side. You either set up a chance or you try to score a goal. And that's what Arsenal fans want from him. I know that's what I want from him. So for me, that side has to be on the left, and I'd put Willian there much on the right. At the 10, you probably have to go with Smith Rowe, but maybe Smith Rowe could do with a bit of rest there as well. So maybe you kind of go half and half. So maybe someone like a Smith Rowe comes on for about an hour, and then bring on Martin Odegaard for the last half an hour of the game. Give him some more minutes to gradually, to whereby he can somehow maybe have an impact on the game and have an impact on this Arsenal side. So that would be my guess. And of course, Lacazette up top there as well. But I think that's pretty much a fair bet. But Wolves are going to be tough. They've always been solid defensively. They're solid in midfield. And up front, they're always a nuisance. I don't believe Jimenez is back yet. I think he is still trying to get up to 100%. But if he is back, we are going to have a problem. We lost to them 1-0 in a game whereby an 18-year-old scored against us. Just terrible. But we have to not lose this. When I was a few videos ago, a couple of weeks ago, I did my breakdown on what I thought this game should be. And this was the game that I felt this should be a draw. If we get a draw out of this, that would be fair. If we can get a win, even better. But for me, I'm going to put it down as a draw. I think we've got Aston Villa after that. I'm putting that one down as a draw there as well. We cannot be losing these games. It's now time for consistency, and that's what this side really needs. And I think that we have the players to be able to pull out at the very least a draw. They can, like, the team right now has problems with creating chances, which I get it. It's really the forward players and kind of the players playing at the number 10 that are kind of the real issue. But until we get Saka back, linking up with Lacazette and Smith Rowe, it's always going to look like this. And on the left side, getting Tierney back with potentially Aubameyang is going to be a bit of an issue there as well. I think that Martinelli will probably end up being on the bench. I wouldn't mind him starting, but for me, I don't trust Mikel Arteta. For some reason, he doesn't want to play Martinelli, or at least start him. Martinelli's had, for me, enough rest. He's gotten a good amount of games to kind of slowly bed in, but this whole insistence on playing Willian, constantly starting and playing the majority of the minutes, for me, it just doesn't work. So I think that Willian will probably start, but who knows? I could be wrong. Maybe Martinelli might start. So yeah, let's see what happens for them. But I'm going for a draw. I think that Lacazette will probably score, and I'm probably going to go with Traore to score as well from Wolves for a 1-1 draw. But I think that's a fair result. You guys leave your comments below on what do you think the game will be like. How do you think the game will go? Do you think that Arsenal could win or lose? Like, leave your comments below. Let's kind of get a discussion going, and I will see you all in my next video, which is a link in the comment section below, or should be on the end screens as you can see there now.